My name is Melissa Wright. Just last week I turned 35. 5. It should have been a memorable day, a celebration of how far I've come. Instead, it became the loneliest moment of my life. I spent $600 to book a private room at Bellissimo, an upscale Italian restaurant in downtown Chicago. It wasn't just about luxury, it was about memory. That place had held one of the few warm moments I ever shared with my father back when I was 16. I chose it hoping to recreate something better, something new, a reconciliation. I spent hours preparing, picking the perfect deep navy dress that made me feel bold yet graceful, handwriting heartfelt messages on each invitation I sent to my family. This birthday marks a new chapter and I want to share it with the people who helped shape me. I wrote to my parents, my brother Tom, and my sister Rachel. Their confirmations came quickly. "Wouldn't miss it for the world," sweetheart Mom texted. Tom and Rachel both replied that they'd be there. For a brief moment, I felt hope. Maybe they'd really changed. That Saturday, I arrived an hour early to set things up myself. I placed framed photos of family moments on the welcome table, carefully arranged party favors, and made sure the three-tiered cake stood proudly at the center. I imagined smiles, heartfelt toasts, maybe even my dad saying he was proud of me. I dared to believe. At 6 p.m., no one had arrived. 6:30, still nothing. I smiled through it, sending lighthearted texts. "Appetizers are amazing. Can't wait to see you all." But inside, something was tightening in my chest. I called. No one picked up. Rachel texted a vague, "Sorry, something came up." No one else responded. By 7:30, I was sitting alone at a table set for 16. Mario, the maitre d', approached gently. "Miss Wright, your mother called this morning. She said there was a change of plans and the family wouldn't be attending, but to keep the reservation for you, because you'd understand." Understand what? That. I didn't matter. I sat in silence, eyes fixed on the cake, now mocking me with its cheerful, happy 35th Melissa. Just then, my coworker Janet popped her head in holding a gift bag. "Happy birthday," she beamed until she noticed the empty room. "Am I early?" "No," I whispered. "You're actually the only one who came." She stayed for about 30 minutes awkwardly chatting while I tried to maintain some semblance of dignity. When she left, I asked the staff to box everything up, paid the bill, and drove home in a daze. I didn't turn on the radio. The streets of Chicago blurred around me. I didn't cry. Not then. But something inside me cracked, just a hairline fracture. The kind that warns of a coming break. And I had no idea that this betrayal was only the beginning. That night alone in my apartment, I sat staring at the untouched cake on my kitchen counter. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. It sat there like a silent witness to my foolish hope to the last time I tried to believe in my family. I didn't sleep. I replayed every recent conversation in my head. Had I misread them? Did I say something wrong? The guilt gnawed at me, but somewhere deeper, quieter, another feeling stirred recognition. This wasn't new. It had happened before. When I was 12, my mom had planned a birthday party at our house. I'd been giddy inviting my classmates and even picking out decorations myself. The night before, she snapped at me. "Stop acting like a child," she hissed. "You're always desperate for attention." The next day, no one showed up. She told me none of them wanted to come. It wasn't until years later I learned she had called their parents and canceled behind my back. "Maybe this will teach you some humility," she'd said. That memory hit me like a cold wave. I hadn't connected it to that night at Bellissimo. Not until now. The next morning, I dragged myself into work, smiling for my coworkers. It was quiet, just what I needed, I lied. But after lunch, Jessica from accounting pulled me aside. "Melissa, I need to tell you something. Your mother called some of us last week. She said you had to cancel your party due to a family emergency and you didn't want anyone to know. She asked us not to come." I felt like the floor dropped beneath me. So it wasn't just that they didn't come. My mother had ensured I'd be alone. Deliberately, calculated, cruel. And suddenly, dozens of small things over the years clicked into place. Times she forgot to relay messages. Times family events were accidentally scheduled without telling me. Holidays where I was guilted for not contributing enough. Even the $5,000 work bonus I'd given her in my 20s after a teary phone call about a supposed emergency gone never mentioned again. My therapist, Dr. Sear Martinez, had used a term once that I didn't fully grasp at the time. Narcissistic parenthood. They see your success as theirs, but your emotions, your pain that doesn't register. You're an accessory to their identity, she had said. Now it made painful, perfect sense. I started to dig. Financial records, messages, memories, the unpaid loans. The college fund they said was lost to bad investments, I'd later learned they'd used it to renovate their kitchen. The stolen credit in public speeches, the comparisons to other kids, the constant erosion of my confidence. And now they had humiliated me not just as their daughter, but as a woman, a professional, and a human being. But this time, something inside me shifted. No more reaching. No more pleading for scraps of approval. This birthday hadn't just marked another year. It had marked a line, a boundary, one I would no longer let them cross. 2 weeks passed before I replied to any of my family's messages. I had ignored their sudden flood of texts, their casual attempts at conversation, as if the birthday incident never happened, but eventually I knew I had to confront it not for closure but for clarity. I arranged to meet them at a cafe near their home. Neutral ground, public space. Somewhere they couldn't raise their voices or manipulate the setting. I arrived early, heart thudding in my chest like I was heading into battle. Mom arrived first, air kissing the air beside my cheek like we hadn't just shared a nuclear silence. Dad followed with his usual distracted nod, glancing at his watch before he even looked at me. There were no warm greetings, no apologies. Just the clinking of coffee cups and the simmering undercurrent of expectation. I was the one who owed them an explanation. So I began flatly. "Why didn't any of you come to my birthday party?" Mom didn't flinch. She set down her cup with calculated grace. "Sweetheart, we told you we couldn't make it. There was a change of plans. You told me you wouldn't miss it for the world." My voice wavered only slightly. "You confirmed. You RSVP'd. Mom blinked innocently, then turned to Dad. "Richard." I'm really starting to worry about Melissa's memory. Don't you remember how she used to make things up when she was little Gaslight? So clean, so well-practiced. Dad just shrugged. "You've been stressed lately, Mel. Working too hard. That can play tricks on your mind." I pulled out my phone and scrolled through the saved texts. "You said word for word, wouldn't miss it for the world." Mom glanced at the screen. "I meant we wouldn't miss calling you. Obviously, we had the Sullivans' family dinner that night. It's tradition." "No, it's not. There's no such tradition." But it didn't matter. They weren't trying to explain, they were trying to rewrite. As they always had. In real time, right in front of me. And I realized something chilling. They actually believed their version. Or at least they needed me to. I stood up. "I'm done. Don't be dramatic," Mom said sharply, her veneer cracking. "You hurt me. And you still won't admit it." My voice was steady now. "Cold. I'm not imagining this. You chose to exclude me. And that's fine, your choice. But don't expect me to pretend it didn't happen." As I turned to leave, something inside me shifted. Not a break this time, but a door closing. Or maybe locking. Later that night, my Uncle Frank called. His name lighting up my screen startled me. It had been months since we last spoke directly. I hesitated, then answered. "Melissa," he said gently. "How are you holding up?" "Surviving," I replied. There was a pause. "Then I thought you should know. Your mom's been telling people you had a breakdown at your party, that you screamed at the guests. That's why no one stayed." I went silent, completely stunned. "There were no guests," I whispered. "No one came." I figured Frank sighed. "But that's not what she's telling people." And then he began to unravel the web. Over the next hour, he shared story after story, things my parents had said about me over the years, that I was unstable, ungrateful, that I refused to help them financially after everything they'd done for me, that I had stopped visiting them out of cruelty, that I owed them. "They've been painting you as a problem for a long time," Frank said quietly. "But I think it's because they're afraid of you now, afraid of your success, your independence. You don't need them. That makes them feel irrelevant, powerless. I hung up feeling like the world had tilted sideways. My whole life I'd tried to earn love, respect, belonging. I'd exhausted myself chasing a version of family that never existed. But now something else took its place. Anger, not the explosive kind, a quiet, righteous fury, the kind that sees clearly and decides it will never go back. I made an emergency session with Dr. Martinez. They've manipulated your story for years, she said softly, rewritten your reality to protect their version of themselves. What you're feeling right now is grief. I feel like I'm going crazy, I admitted, like I'm standing in a hall of mirrors. You're not crazy, she said. You're waking up. I thought the worst was behind me. That confronting my parents in the cafe, seeing their reality-bending denial, and hearing Uncle Frank confirm my deepest fears would be the lowest point. But I hadn't seen the next hit coming. Not the kind that wounds your heart, but the kind that tries to rip out your autonomy. It arrived on a Monday morning, the kind that looked ordinary at first. I brewed my coffee, opened my calendar, and scanned through emails. My apartment was quiet, peaceful for once. Then my phone chimed. The screen lit up with a name that still had power over me, Mom. I hesitated. And then out of habit or weakness, I opened the message. Melissa, the deposit for our 40th anniversary party at the Grand Ellington is due this week. Your total contribution will be $3,200. Please transfer the money by Wednesday. This celebration means everything to us, and it's the least you can do after all we've sacrificed for you over the years. Love, Mom. I froze. There was no question, no conversation, no warning. Just an invoice disguised as a guilt trip. My hand trembled and I nearly dropped the mug. It shattered across the bathroom tile, just like the last sliver of my illusion that they would ever respect me. Seconds later, another message arrived. We've already told everyone about your generous gift. Don't embarrass us. My breath caught. I felt the pressure building in my chest again, that suffocating weight I'd begun to recognize. Not just anxiety trauma surfacing. I called in sick for the first time in 3 years. I sat on the couch, phone in hand, watching the notifications roll in. Each ping chipped away at me. Then came the call that detonated the bomb. William, a colleague from the marketing team, sounded hesitant. Hey, Melissa, I just got an invitation to your parents' anniversary party. Says it's hosted by you. I figured you'd want to know. I felt the room tilt sideways. When did it arrive? Yesterday. Half the department got them. They're telling people you're throwing the whole thing. Open bar gourmet dinner. It's kind of everywhere. They had sent out printed invitations to coworkers, distant relatives, childhood neighbors. The guest list included over 100 people. They had used my name, my money, my reputation. Without a word, I wanted to scream. But instead, I sat in silence, heart pounding as the full scope of the manipulation revealed itself like a flood pouring over a broken dam. Later that night, Taylor, my cousin and quiet ally, called me. You didn't agree to this, did you? Of course not, I said. I figured. They did the same thing to Tom when he got his promotion, claimed he was buying them a car. He took out a loan just to avoid public humiliation. I remembered that. I'd assumed it was Tom's idea, an extravagant gesture. I hadn't known he was trapped. And then Taylor said something that changed everything. They've done this to you before too, haven't they? And suddenly, memory after memory surfaced like ghosts. The spring break trip when I was 19. Mom told everyone I was treating the family with my scholarship money. I ended up working double shifts that summer to pay the credit card bill. The stolen credit cards in my name when I was 17. The college fund that vanished, the emergencies that always aligned with my paydays. They hadn't raised a daughter. They had groomed an emotional ATM. That night, I had my first full-blown panic attack. It started with tightness in my chest, then shallow breathing. The walls of my apartment seemed to close in. I curled on the kitchen floor, gasping for air. Somehow I reached my phone and texted Dr. Martinez emergency. Can't breathe. Parents demanding money. She called instantly. Her voice cut through the fog, steady and calm. Melissa, what you're feeling is the physical manifestation of years of emotional abuse. This panic. It's your body finally reacting to the pressure it's carried for too long. I couldn't speak, but I listened. That weekend, I spiraled into research, obsessively reading about narcissistic family systems. The golden child, the scapegoat, the enabler, the tactics of guilt, gaslighting, and financial control. Every article, every thread, every painful comment from survivors sounded like my life. I wasn't alone, and more importantly, I wasn't crazy. I knew what I had to do. I didn't sleep the night I made the decision. Instead, I stared at my phone screen, dozens of drafted messages, some long and seething detailing every betrayal, others clipped and polite, the kind of reply you'd send a coworker who overstepped. None of them felt right, but eventually clarity came, not in the form of more words, but fewer. I opened my banking app and transferred exactly $10 to my mother's account. In the memo line, I wrote, "That's all you deserve." Then I sent a single text to both of my parents. No apologies, no explanations. I will not be financing your anniversary party. Do not contact me again unless you are prepared to acknowledge the harm you've caused and make genuine amends. I attached 3 articles about toxic parenting and emotional abuse. Then I turned off my phone. Dr. Martinez had given me a sleeping pill for emergencies. I took it that night. For the first time in weeks, I fell into a dreamless, uninterrupted sleep. But peace doesn't come without a storm. The next morning, when I turned my phone back on, it buzzed and vibrated until I had to silence it. 57 missed calls, 34 voicemails, 83 texts, most from my parents. The rest, aunts, uncles, cousins, even former neighbors. My mother's first voicemail was tearful. "Melissa, how could you do this to us after all we've done for you? $10, is that all your family means to you?" By the 5th voicemail, her voice was ice. "You've always been selfish. But this is cruel. Your father is devastated." The text messages followed a familiar pattern. "Family is everything, Melissa. They just want to celebrate their love with the people who matter. This isn't the Melissa we know." My sister Rachel called. Her voice was tight, carefully neutral. "Mel, just pay for the party. Let's move on. Did you know they told everyone I was hosting it without asking me?" There was a pause. "They assumed you'd want to. You're the successful one." "That's not how it works, Rachel. You don't volunteer someone's money without their consent." "It's just money," she said weakly. "Is it worth tearing the family apart?" "The family was already broken," I replied. "I'm just finally acknowledging it." That morning, I made 3 decisions. I would not engage with any of their manipulative messages. 2, I would go no contact with my parents for a period of time to protect my sanity. 3, I would build a support system outside of my biological family. Dr. Martinez called this phase the extinction burst, a term used in psychology when harmful behavior intensifies before it fades. "They will escalate," she warned, "but you've taken back your power. That's the beginning of real change." And escalate they did. A few days later, my mother showed up uninvited at my workplace. She stood in the lobby demanding to speak with me, causing a scene so disruptive that security had to escort her out. She was crying, then yelling, then crying again. The next day, my boss received a phone call from my father, who claimed he was concerned about my mental health. He suggested I might need time off. But my reputation finally spoke louder than their whispers. I documented everything, every call, every text, every visit. Dr. Martinez helped me build a paper trail. "If this continues," she said calmly, "you'll need to consider legal protection." And then, without fanfare, without acknowledgement, they threw the party anyway. Taylor told me they had scaled it down, moved it from the Grand Ellington to a country club banquet hall. The new narrative I had promised to host it but backed out at the last minute due to emotional instability. Some believed them. But others, especially those who had quietly watched my parents over the years, weren't so sure. A few relatives reached out privately with cautious messages of support. A few others never spoke to me again. The most unexpected message came from Tom. He called one night, his voice quieter than I'd ever heard it. "I saw the text Mom sent you about the money," he said. "That was wrong, Mel." Really wrong. They did it to you too, didn't they? Last year, he admitted. They told everyone I was buying them a new car for their anniversary. I couldn't back out without looking like a monster. I took out a loan, still paying it off. Why didn't you tell me, shame? And they always played us against each other. I was the good one. You were the difficult one. There was silence. You were never difficult, Mel, he said finally. You were just the only one brave enough to say no. After Tom's call, something inside me clicked into place. It wasn't relief, not quite, but it was something solid, something I could lean on. For the first time, I wasn't standing entirely alone. But I knew better than to think that was the end of it. When people like my parents lose control, they don't let go quietly. So I prepared. I changed the locks on my apartment and added a security chain. I installed a door camera. I told the building's doorman not to allow my parents upstairs under any circumstance. I even created email filters to divert their messages into a folder I could check when I was emotionally ready. I wasn't scared. I was done. Meanwhile, I focused on the things I could control. I joined a support group for adult children of narcissistic parents. I met people with stories eerily similar to mine, people who had walked through the same fire and come out scarred but stronger. I began journaling daily, documenting memories, tracking feelings, fighting gaslighting with facts. I took long runs along the lake, letting the cold wind scrape away everything I couldn't put into words. And yet, despite all that, I wasn't prepared for what came next. It happened 3 days after Thanksgiving. I had just settled into my couch with a book when a pounding on the door shattered the silence. Bang, bang, bang. Melissa. Open this door right now, I froze. I knew that voice, my mother's. My heart thundered. I approached the door but didn't open it. Mom, what are you doing here? We need to talk. Open the door. Then came my father's voice, calm, stern, commanding. The voice of someone used to being obeyed. We're not leaving until we've resolved this. I took a deep breath, remembering Dr. Martinez's advice. If you want to talk, I said clearly, we can schedule a time with my therapist present. I'm not comfortable with a drop-in visit. We're not speaking to that woman, Mom snapped. She's turned you against your own family. Her voice rose sharp and theatrical. Everyone is talking about that terrible post you made on Thanksgiving. How dare you humiliate us like that? A door opened down the hall. I heard my neighbor, Mrs. Patel, ask gently, Everything okay? Family matter, Dad muttered. I responded quickly, Mom. Dad, I'm not opening the door. Please leave or I'll have to call security. Then I heard it, the unmistakable click of a key entering my lock. They still had the spare key. I had forgotten. Stop, I shouted, shoving against the door and engaging the security chain just in time. You cannot come in. The door pushed inward slightly, the chain rattling under the pressure. My mother's face appeared through the narrow gap, flushed, wild-eyed, furious. Trespassing. We're your parents. You're not welcome. I did not invite you. This is my home. You ungrateful little... Her voice turned venomous, spewing insults I hadn't heard since childhood. But this time they didn't cut the same way. They didn't land. They were echoes in a room I no longer stood in. You gave me trauma, I said coldly. You gave me anxiety. You gave me debt. That's not love, Mom. That's control. Dad slammed his shoulder against the door, snapping the chain. I stumbled back, heart pounding. They stepped inside like they owned the place. This is what you've chosen, Mom sneered, looking around. This empty life. No husband, no kids, just a career and some fake friends. I choose peace, I said, pulling out my phone and hitting record. I choose respect. I choose boundaries. And right now, I'm choosing to call the police if you don't leave. You've always been dramatic, she spat, but for the first time, her voice faltered. This isn't drama, I said calmly. This is self-respect. Dad took a step toward me. His face darkened. You think you're better than us now? Fancy job downtown apartment, you forgot who made you. I made me, I replied. Despite you. Not because of you. Mom's face twisted with rage. You were impossible to love. Always needing, always demanding. Do you know how exhausting it was having a child like you? The words would have gutted me once, but now they only confirmed what I already knew. Her inability to love me properly had never been my fault. "I'm sorry you feel that way," I said, "but that's your burden, not mine." Dad softened his tone. He reached for his usual manipulation, calm, reasonable, persuasive. "We're not asking for money anymore. The party is done. We just want our daughter back." "The daughter you want doesn't exist," I said. "She was a fiction. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to live." I raised my phone. "This is your final warning. Leave or I call 911. Mom lunged, trying to grab my phone. I backed away and pressed call. "911. What's your emergency?" "Two individuals have broken into my apartment. I've asked them repeatedly to leave. I do not feel safe." My father's face turned pale. He grabbed my mother's arm. "We're leaving." "But this isn't over, Melissa," she hissed as they stepped into the hallway. "Actually," I said quietly, "it is." They disappeared down the hall. My hands were shaking, but my voice had never been steadier. 15 minutes later, the police arrived. I showed them the broken security chain, the recording, the messages, everything. "Do you want to press charges?" the officer asked gently. I paused. "Not yet," I said, "but I do want this documented. I'll be filing for a restraining order." And I did. It wasn't just a legal step. It was a line in the sand. It was the beginning of everything they couldn't control. And everything I was finally becoming. The restraining order was granted within a week. It came with a mix of emotions: vindication, sorrow, exhaustion. Seeing the official document with names and signatures and legal language spelling out that I needed protection from my own parents, it made the pain feel more real, more permanent, but also more finished. The family fractured in response. Some relatives cut ties with me immediately. Others sent vague, uncomfortable messages trying to stay neutral. A few, like Aunt Susan, quietly messaged me to say, "I believe you." But it was my brother Tom who surprised me most. He started visiting me just small things at first. A coffee after work, a walk along the lakefront. At first it felt like we were meeting each other for the first time as adults, free from triangulation, free from the roles we'd been cast in. "I always thought you were just rebellious," he admitted one night, staring into his mug. "But now I think you were just awake before the rest of us." We talked about our childhood like archaeologists unearthing ruins. The silence, the shame, the endless approval-seeking. He confessed how trapped he still felt. "They trained us to think love had to be earned," he said, "that every gift came with a debt." That conversation became the beginning of something I never thought possible: a real sibling relationship, not built on obligation, but understanding. Meanwhile, Rachel remained stuck in between. "Can't you just apologize so we can move forward?" she asked during a tense phone call. Apologize for what I asked, gently. For setting a boundary, for refusing to fund a lie. "I don't know. Just something to fix this. Rach." I said, not unkindly. Pretending nothing happened isn't moving forward. It's just running in circles. That winter, while the rest of the family sent cards and posted glossy holiday photos with carefully worded captions, I booked a flight to the coast. I spent Christmas at a beach resort, alone, intentionally. And I was okay. No eggshells, no forced cheer, no gifts exchanged like IOUs, just sun silence and peace. Back home, I continued therapy, continued journaling, continued building. My support group became my anchor. Friends who knew my whole truth became my chosen family, people who didn't want anything from me except my presence. And slowly, life began to feel mine. 6 months after the birthday that broke me, I hosted a small gathering at my apartment. Just a few friends, wine, homemade, pasta-soft music. Someone called it a housewarming, even though I hadn't moved. "I'm just warming the energy," I said with a smile. As we sat around the table laughing, sharing being real, I realized something powerful. This was the family I had needed all along. Not perfect, not bound by blood, but kind, safe, present. I looked around the room and saw it clearly. I had finally built something my parents never could. An environment where people could breathe, where I could breathe. 1 year later, on the morning of my 36th birthday, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror again, the same one where I had once stared at my reflection and wondered what was wrong with me. But now the woman looking back had changed. There was softness in her eyes, and also steel. I whispered, "Happy birthday, Melissa." It felt silly, but it felt right. That evening, I hosted another dinner. 12 people, no grandeur. No cake tears, just laughter and conversation and the warm glow of candles reflecting in eyes that truly saw me. At the end of the meal, Carly raised her glass. To Melissa, who taught us all that courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's just saying no and meaning it. I smiled, not shyly, not nervously, just fully as someone who knew who she was. My healing hadn't been clean. There were setbacks. Days when I missed the fantasy of family more than the reality. Nights when I questioned whether estrangement had been the right path. Dr. Martinez helped me through those doubts. "You're not grieving what was she said one day. You're grieving what should have been, and that's a valid loss." Eventually, I even came to understand my parents more, not to excuse them, but to stop internalizing their brokenness as mine. My mother had been raised with cold expectations and performative love. My father grew up under silence and addiction. They had passed along what was never healed, but their pain wasn't my inheritance to carry. 3 months after the restraining order expired, I got an email from my mother. It wasn't an apology, but it also wasn't a guilt trip. It was cautious and restrained. "We'd like to talk about rebuilding, if you're willing." I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. With Dr. Martinez's help, I drafted boundaries. No discussions of money. No triangulation through extended family. No gaslighting. No rewriting. We met at a public cafe. It was awkward. They looked older, smaller. Dad had more gray in his hair. Mom looked tired. "We've been seeing a counselor," she said. "He says, maybe we had some boundary issues. It wasn't the apology I'd imagined, but it was something." We agreed to brief contact, a monthly check-in, a holiday card. Nothing more unless trust was rebuilt. Some might call that failure. I called it reality. Forgiveness. I had learned doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means letting go of the hope that the past could have been different and choosing peace anyway. As spring returned to Chicago, so did a sense of lightness I hadn't felt in years. Not the fleeting kind that comes from distractions or pretending, but a grounded, deep breath kind of peace. It had been nearly 18 months since the birthday that shattered me and reassembled me. Since then, my life hadn't become easier, but it had become mine. The difference was everything. At work, I flourished. I had energy again. The mental fog that used to cling to me like static was gone. I led new campaigns, mentored junior staff. I even received a promotion to VP, a title that once might have meant everything to my parents, but now meant something very different to me. I was thriving without their approval. In my personal life, I had rebuilt a foundation not on blood, but on choice. My friends Carly, Jessica, even Janet from that empty birthday night became a new kind of family. We celebrated holidays together, had honest talks over coffee, showed up for each other without keeping score. There was no performance, no obligations, just connection. Tom and I continued to rebuild our sibling bond slowly and intentionally. We didn't talk about the past every time, but when we did, it felt like turning a light on in a room we'd both lived in but never really seen. "You were never the problem," he told me once. "You were just the first one to say the house was on fire." Rachel remained distant, still clinging to the dream that family could just move on without ever turning around. And that was okay. I'd stopped trying to pull people where they weren't ready to go. One evening, I hosted another small dinner, this time for my 37th birthday. No one wore formal clothes, no speeches. Just good food, loud laughter, and that soft hum of safety you don't notice until you've lived without it. Carly brought out a simple cake, store-bought uneven frosting, and everyone sang badly and joyfully. When I blew out the candles, I didn't make a wish. I already had what I'd once wished for, a life I didn't want to run from. After dinner, I stepped out onto the balcony. The city stretched beneath me, glowing and endless. I wrapped a blanket around my shoulders and just stood there breathing. I thought of my mother, my father, of the chain on the door that had broken, of the words I'd finally said, "You gave me trauma." That's not love. And I thought of something Dr. Martinez had once said, "You don't have to forgive to heal. But if you ever do, make sure it's from a place of power, not from fear." I wasn't ready to forgive, but I no longer needed to. That was the difference. I had grieved the fantasy of family, and in its place, I'd created something real, a community that chose me back every time. I didn't need to be anyone's golden child scapegoat or provider. I just had to be me, messy, healing, and whole. As I stepped back inside, someone called out, "Melissa, you coming back to the table?" I smiled. "Yeah, I'm right here." And for the first time in my life, I knew exactly what that meant. If you found this video meaningful and inspiring, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to support the channel.